Hello, I'm Malcolm Fleschner, here with another video blog for the Young Turks. Today I'd like to talk to you about the lessons we Americans can take away from the recent Gulf oil spill. Now that the well has been capped, it's time to take a step back from all the heated rhetoric and re-examine the consequences of this spill and how we as a nation should move forward. As you may recall, back when the oil was still gushing, Texas Congressman Joe Barton famously apologized to BP for the harsh treatment the company had received from the Obama administration. Barton was widely criticized for this apology, and rightly so. The American people don't owe BP an apology. We owe BP our deepest, most heartfelt thanks for everything the company has done for us. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. Thanks? Have you been huffing a lot of Gulf Coast oil fumes again, Malcolm? The answer is no, I haven't. At least not enough to do me any harm. I know my limits. I can stop anytime I want to. I just don't want to. But getting back to the point, why would we owe BP our thanks? Well, the first reason is the environment. Despite all the doom and gloom saying of the environmental Chicken Littles, the damage caused by this spill appears to be not that severe. Not only has much of the oil evaporated or been skimmed off, but according to BP, the giant underwater plumes of oil are all gone. And we have no reason to doubt them, since there's no evidence that BP has ever been anything but upfront about the nature of this spill from the beginning, and they've never lied to the American public. And I watch Fox News, so I would know if they had. And why isn't anyone talking about how much good this spill will do for climate change? Thanks to BP, there's upwards of 4.9 million barrels of oil that will never be burned into our atmosphere. Some call it spilling a lot of oil. I call it sequestering a lot of carbon in those giant underwater plumes. I mean, theoretically, if there were any, which of course there aren't. And remember how all the environmental groups kept telling us what a huge problem overfishing of the seas was supposed to be? Yet when BP comes along, halting almost all fishing in the Gulf for months on end, where's the thanks from Greenpeace? More fishing, less fishing? There's no pleasing you people. And then aside from the environment, the other great favor BP has done is to alert us to the danger posed by these deepwater oil rigs. Before this accident, many were completely ignorant about the problem. I mean, just listen to this guy speaking back in April, about a month before the spill.
It turns out, by the way, that oil rigs today generally don't cause spills. They are technologically very advanced.
Hey Obama, take your head out of that Koran for a minute and pay attention to what's going on in the world. Am I right? But anyway, now thanks to BP we know better, and we've learned that these deepwater oil rigs are totally unsafe and an accident just waiting to happen. And when inevitably the next one blows up and starts spewing millions more barrels of oil into the ocean, thanks to the example set by BP, we'll know exactly what to do. Or, more specifically, exactly what not to do. And don't forget the supposed economic catastrophe this spill was going to cause. Did this accident cost jobs, at least temporarily, among fishermen, shrimpers, and in the Gulf tourism industry? Of course. But those lost jobs are more than compensated for by an increase in work for oil cleanup crews, for journalists investigating the spill, and for security personnel who were hired to keep those journalists from investigating the spill. Not to mention all the additional oil industry lobbyists and PR flacks who now have to work twice as hard to persuade elected officials that this spill shouldn't stop us from continuing to drill baby drill. Because Lord knows, I'm only one voice. And speaking of which, I know that there are a lot of cynics out there who will call me a corporate shill, who will say whatever I'm told for a big enough check. But nothing could be further from the truth. The fact is that I have never received a single check from anyone in the oil industry. They always pay me in cash. Helps me avoid having to pay any of those pesky taxes. But getting back to the aftermath of the spill and the future of deepwater drilling, as I see it, there are really only two possible outcomes. On the one hand, this spill may wind up having only minimal effects on the Gulf ecosystem, in which case there's clearly little to no danger in continuing to drill. Or on the other hand, there is the remote chance that this spill has caused long-standing permanent harm and the entire Gulf ecosystem is essentially dead. In which case, hey, the damage is already done, so we might as well go and grab all the oil that's still down there, right? The point is, a lot of people would have you believe that the spill just reinforces the old saying that oil and water don't mix. Well, I've witnessed what happens when oil and water mix, and you know what I see? Rainbows. So until next time, for the Young Turks, this is Malcolm Fleschner saying, stay strong, nation.